Today's activity for our story Cinder Owl and the Stinky Footwear is figurative language, which is a comprehension skill. The instructions say, authors use figurative language such as imagery and alliteration to create a special effect or feeling in a text. Figurative language also includes figures of speech that show comparison, such as similes. So what does a simile do? They show comparison. How do these show comparison? You're going to find the words like and the word as in between your comparisons. So we read on. It says, answer the questions about page 394 of Cinder Owl and the Stinky Footwear. Here are questions. What is compared in the simile in paragraph 6? So we want to see what is compared in the simile, and it's telling us where to look in paragraph 6. So this is a question about figurative language. Number 2. Are the shoes literally eggs? So they're asking us to clarify the simile. Are the shoes literally eggs? Number 3. Why did the author use this simile and others like it? Why did the author use this simile and others? And number 4. What is the effect of alliteration on readers? What's the effect of alliteration on readers? Asks us, what is compared in the simile in paragraph 6? So we need to identify the simile, right? We're going to look for the word like or as. Paragraph 6 is right here. The Stinky Footwear was nothing more than a pair of elegant dancing shoes. However, these shoes came with one pungent problem. They reeked, they stank, they smelled like the biggest skunk sitting in a garbage dump on the hottest day of the year and eating 4 rotten eggs. Wearing these shoes and surviving their terrible stench wouldn't be easy, even for the stinkiest bachelors in Stinky Hollow. So we know that a simile is a comparison between two things that uses the word like or as. Can you identify where that simile is? That's right, it's right here. They smelled like the biggest skunk sitting in the garbage dump on the hottest day of the year and eating 4 rotten eggs. What smelled like the biggest skunk sitting in the garbage dump on the hottest day of the year and eating 4 rotten eggs? That's right, the Stinky Footwear. So let's go back to our question. What is compared in the simile in paragraph 6? So the simile in paragraph 6 compares the stinky shoes, the stinky footwear, to what? To the biggest skunk sitting in the garbage dump. on the hottest day of the year. And eating 4 rotten eggs. So question number 2 says, are the shoes literally eggs? No, that's right. No, the shoes are not eggs. Question number 3 says, why did the author use this simile, and others like it? Why does an author use similes and others like it? Well, authors use similes to help you, the reader, create images or create pictures in your mind. So how can we answer this question? Again, we would begin by restating the question, right? Why did the author use this simile and other similes and others like it? The author uses similes to help me visualize how terrible the stinky shoes are. How terrible the smell of the stinky shoes is by using my sense of smell. And then our last question says, what is the effect of alliteration on readers? So you want to remember what the meaning of alliteration is, right? What is alliteration? So alliteration is the use of the same beginning sound in words. Now, when you read the paragraphs in page 394, you have a lot of repetitive sounds, like the S sound. As an example, let me show you. The same paragraph that we were looking at earlier. The stinky footwear was nothing more than a pair of elegant dancing shoes. However, these shoes came with one pungent problem. They reeked, they stank, they smelled like the biggest skunk sitting in a garbage dump on the hottest day of the year and eating 4 rotten eggs. Wearing these shoes and surviving their terrible stench wouldn't be easy. even for the stinkiest bachelor in Stinky Hollow. However, the rotten reek of the stinky footwear didn't stop Stinky Steve. He followed his nose straight to the palace. When he placed the footwear onto his feet, his eyes watered, his stomach churned, his nose stung. Steve couldn't stand the stench, and he raced out of the palace screaming, "I'd rather sniff 70 skunks." So there's a lot of examples, boys and girls, but here's one. I'd rather sniff 70 skunks. Odiferous Owen went next. He did far worse than his smelly brother. After one whiff of the stinky footwear, Owen fainted. He passed out right in front of Prince's pew. So you have a lot of alliteration in the story. Now, what is the effect of the alliteration on the reader? Well, when we read a story where you have a repetitive sound in a lot of the words within the text of the story, it kind of gives you a little sense of a pattern. It's a sound device, right? You start to hear the same sounds over and over again, and it starts to create a sense, a mood. It creates a mood in the story. That mood in this story is a silly mood, right? You can, you almost feel like you're reading a tongue twister, or it just makes the story very silly. So we want to put that into words, right? What is the effect of alliteration using the same beginning sounds in the words within a sentence on the reader? So the effect of alliteration. The effect of alliteration not is, but on the reader is that it makes the story sound silly, like a tongue twister. And it makes it fun to read. So again, remember that a simile is a comparison between two things using the words like or as. Remember that alliteration is the same beginning sound in words. These are two figurative language examples that we have in the story of Cinder Owl and the stinky footwear.